Robert Hunter Biden, born February 4th, 1970, is an American attorney and businessman. He is the second son of U.S. President Joe Biden and his first wife, Nelia Hunter Biden. Biden was a founding board member of BHR Partners, a Chinese investment company, in 2013 and later served on the board of 𝗂𝗫𝗵 Holdings, one of the largest private natural gas producers in Ukraine, from 2014 until his term expired in April 2019. He has worked as a lobbyist and legal representative for lobbying firms, a hedge fund principal, and a venture capital and private equity fund investor. Since early 2019, Hunter and his father have been the targets of false allegations of corrupt activities concerning Ukraine, which intensified after the New York Post published an article in October 2020 about a laptop computer that had belonged to Hunter Biden. Biden was convicted of 3 federal firearms-related felony charges in June 2024 after he had admitted to illegally owning a gun while a drug user. Biden's tax affairs have been under federal criminal investigation since late 2018, and in September 2024, Biden pled guilty to all of the tax charges. On December 1, 2024, Biden was pardoned by his father, who argued that the charges were selective and political, and incorrectly claimed that a plea deal for Hunter failed due to political pressure. After graduating from law school in 1996, Biden accepted a consultant position at the bank holding company, 𝗵𝗵, whose employees donated more than $200,000 to his father's Senate campaigns over the years. Biden delayed his start date at 𝗵𝗵 to serve as co-chair for his father's re-election campaign. By 1998, Hunter Biden had risen to the rank of executive vice president. Biden departed from 𝗵𝗵 in 1998. He then served at the United States Department of Commerce, focusing on e-commerce policy for President Bill Clinton's administration. In 2001, Biden became a lobbyist, co-founding the firm of Oldacre, Biden, and Bel Air. According to 𝗂𝗵𝗵 of The New Yorker, Biden and his father established a relationship in which Biden wouldn't ask Hunter about his lobbying clients, and Hunter wouldn't tell his father about them. In 2001, he was also rehired by 𝗵𝗵 as a consultant, where he was paid a yearly $100,000 retainer until 2005. 𝗵𝗵's rehiring of Biden was controversial because his father was pushing for passage of the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act, which was beneficial to the credit card industry and supported by 𝗵𝗵 during Biden's time at the bank. The legislation made it more difficult to get bankruptcy protection. Biden was appointed to a 5-year term on the board of directors of Amtrak by President George W. Bush in 2006. Biden was the board's vice chairman from July 2006 until he was replaced as vice chairman in January 2009. He resigned from the board that February, shortly after his father became vice president. Biden said during his father's vice presidential campaign that it was time for his lobbying activities to end. Pardon of criminal offenses. On December 1, 2024, President Biden issued a full and unconditional pardon for his son. The pardon covered all federal offenses committed between January 1, 2014 and December 1, 2024, and included his tax charges, gun charges, and any other potential charges within that range, which includes April 2014, when Hunter joined the board of 𝗂𝗫𝗵. The scope of Biden's pardon was unusually broad, and legal experts could recall only Richard Nixon as someone given similar terms for a pardon for a term between 1969 and 1974. In an official White House statement from President Biden, he said that he believed his son was selectively and unfairly prosecuted and blamed political pressure for the failure of a plea deal for Hunter. To the contrary, the plea deal had fallen apart due to the presiding judge questioning its unusual construction, which violated a basic tenet of federal guilty pleas against having side deals in the plea agreement. 171. Biden concluded his statement by saying, "I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision." Biden's pardon was criticized by lawmakers from both parties as harming the justice system. In the months leading up to Hunter's scheduled sentencing, the president had made repeated statements that he would not use the pardon authority for his own son. He and his staff continued to state that there would be no pardon for Hunter as late as November, although internal staff discussions affirmed that the option for a pardon would remain on the table, even as Biden publicly stated otherwise. Hunter issued the following statement in response to the pardon. "I have admitted and taken responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction. Mistakes that have been exploited to publicly humiliate and shame me and my family for political sport. I will never take the clemency I have been given today for granted and will devote the life I have rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering." The pardon cannot be rescinded by President-elect Donald Trump.